Stop for a second, take a breath, because what I'm about to tell you will challenge everything you think you know about strength, justice, and revenge. For centuries, we've been told that power comes from domination, that victory belongs to the one who hits back harder. But here's the truth, that's not power. That's dependency on pain, on rage, on the illusion that destruction equals control. And until you understand that, you'll keep living inside the same cycle that traps every avenger, including Wick's story begins with loss. His wife dies, his peace dies, then his dog, his last symbol of love, is murdered. And when he picks up the gun, the world cheers. We tell ourselves it's justice, but is it? Or is it just trauma wearing a suit because every bullet he fires is aimed at something he'll never hit? Closure. You can't kill pain, you can only feel it, and that's the part no one wants to face. Revenge feels easier than healing, but let's get honest. What has revenge ever fixed? It doesn't resurrect the dead. It doesn't bring back what was stolen. It just multiplies the pain until you mistake chaos for catharsis. Those centers go dark. You feel empty again because revenge one of the pioneers of forgiveness research called revenge a false sense of justice. He spent decades studying what happens when we let go of vengeance, and he found something person who hurt you from living in your head rent-free. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what they did. It ends their power to defend. Justice isn't about getting even, but getting free. What if the real rebellion isn't pulling the trigger, but dropping it? You've been told forgiveness means who you become, because revenge chains you to the past. Forgiveness lets you walk into the future. Think about it. When Wick kills, he's not avenging his wife. He's protecting the wound she left behind. Every shot says, I still belong to my pain. That's the tragedy of revenge. It keeps you loyal to your trauma, and our culture glorifies it. We clap for rage. We worship retribution. We call it strength when someone refuses to forgive. But that's not strength. That's spiritual paralysis wearing a bulletproof vest. Forgiveness, on the other hand, requires something far more terrifying: empathy. Enright calls it the moral virtue of giving goodness to the one who gave you pain. Sounds impossible, right? But here's what's wild. It works. When people go through his forgiveness process, their depression drops, their cortisol levels lower, their health improves, because the body understands what the ego denies. Peace is strength. You can't heal what you refuse to feel, and you can't feel while you're busy fighting. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. A woman loses her son to violence. Years later, she meets the killer in prison. Not to forgive what he did, but to reclaim who she was before it happened. She says to him, you don't get to destroy two lives. That's power. That's forgiveness. Not erasing the wound, but owning the scar. That's what Wick never did. He avenged everything except his own heart. So let's talk about how. How do you actually forgive when your entire body wants to burn the world down? Enright breaks it into 4 phases: uncovering the anger, naming what was lost, deciding to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you do, working toward understanding, seeing the offender as human, not heroic, but human, discovering release, realizing forgiveness doesn't erase memory. It changes meaning. It turns the story from what they did to me into what I overcame. Now here's the paradox. Forgiveness feels like giving up control, but it's actually when you get it back. Revenge makes you reactive. Forgiveness makes you sovereign. Revenge says, you define me. Forgiveness says, you no longer can. One keeps you in the movie. The other lets you walk out of the theater and breathe again. You stop playing the role of the wounded hero and start living as the healed one. That's what Beyond the Bullet really means. It's not about escaping violence. It's about transcending it. Wick could have been free the moment he chose peace over pride, but he couldn't. Because the world he lived in, just like ours, only rewards revenge. We call empathy naive, forgiveness weak, compassion soft. But here's the truth. It takes far more strength. What are you still fighting for? Who are you still punishing? And how much longer will you keep confusing pain for purpose? You can't rewrite what happened, but you can stop letting it happen again inside. Justice isn't revenge, it's release. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose